Hello everybody, this is Andy, and welcome to episode 7 of Celestial Journey. Wow, we've got a lot of stuff to do, and I really want to get over the hump of this pack. The hump of this pack is automating blood production, getting into mystical agriculture, and then we can start to focus on fully automating most resources we will need for the rest of the pack. So let's go ahead and get into that. First things first today, I want to upgrade our blood altar just a little bit, and to do that I'm going to make some runes of self-sacrifice and capacity, I think. In order to make runes of capacity, we need a magician blood orb, which requires 25,000 life points, which is a lot, but the drain rate is only 20 LP per tick, which we can produce at least 20 LP per tick, so we'll just have to stand by the altar for a while. But we do need an ice stone, which comes from killing things in Ice-Kia, or I think looting things in Ice-Kia. So I think we can kill those guys, or I'm very slow. I think we can just go into these houses, potentially, if I'm not completely locked out of them, and steal their things, correct? Hello. You have things, right? Yes, okay. I need 9 of these per, and I only need 1 right now, so I think I'll just go find 9. There we go. An ice stone, and then I just need a couple of red hearts over here, and fill this up before we start, and I'll be ready to go. All full up, we should be able to put this thing in, and it will go soon. Oh wait, I took blank runes out, that's the issue. I took the 10 blank runes out, we need to craft the capacity upgrade, so it's not technically a tier 3 altar. At the moment, I just need to put them back. And as you can see, we very easily keep up with the crafting. It's just going to take a minute. I haven't been able to speak for a couple of days now. The last couple of videos, I've been messing up my words all the time. But soon, this thing should turn into the Magician's Blood Orb. And there we go. The Magician's Blood Orb, we bind it to ourselves so we can use it in crafting recipes, or not used in crafting recipes. We can always use it in crafting recipes, but use it in the blood altar, because we'll make 1,000,000 of these eventually in order to power our alchemy tables. So now, I should be able to get those 10 blank runes back and make the capacity upgrades. And here we go. We go from 10 buckets of blood at maximum without any of these capacity augments up to 30,000 with 10 augments. That's actually quite good. That means we can fill this thing up a lot higher and just leave it to craft a bunch of blank slates for, like, I don't know, a couple of minutes, come back, fill it back up, and craft another 20-30 blank slates. Next step is to set up some alchemy tables, and these require a bunch of blaze rods. So I thought, hey, might as well just get a blaze spawner. We can make a restored blaze spawner by using a drop of evil on a spawner, and now we can just place this thing down and pick it up whenever we want to. We can trigger it with a redstone signal, and we can just kind of throw it in our mob farm and it'll do its thing. For now, that spawner is just going to chill in the ME system because I don't really feel like disturbing all of the mobs in there right now. I have no way of turning off that spawner, and I have a feeling I'm going to die a couple of times if I try and, put something new in there. Big lag spike. So let's make a singular alchemy table. I've pre-crafted some dark steel. Hopefully I have a little bit of redstone alloy. Likely doesn't look like it. So let's just craft up, I don't know, 300. And here we go, the alchemy table. For some reason this thing can't be made with anything but specifically the apprentice blood orb. Even higher tier blood orbs don't work. I don't know why. Whatever, not really a huge issue. We'll always have this apprentice blood orb here. And now what we can do is set this up somewhere. Technically, what we're going to be using is a wireless system to do the crafting on this thing. So we can just set it here for now. So the alchemy table has a bunch of slots. You can turn on and turn off slots for automation purposes, and you can put your blood orb in there. We need to charge our blood, what is it called? Our life essence, like, I don't remember what it's called. I think it's the LP network, and you do that by sticking your blood orb into here, and as you can see, it sucks life essence out of here. And what we can do is we can fill this up, we can get a bunch of LP into our network. I don't know quite how much this Magician's Blood Orb can hold, but it's probably 50,000 LP or so, which is a decent bit. It's not a huge amount, but it's a decent chunk. And then once we get a little bit of LP in the network, we can use this thing for crafting. Using the alchemy table, we can craft things like stimulants, Eris, and we're going to need a lot of all of these things to make like windy bases, to make things in extreme crafting, and these are used for other things in extreme crafting. It goes incredibly deep into a rabbit hole. But we just need a little bit of Eris right now, so I can make some speed rooms and an environment controller. So what I'm going to do is I set up one of these alchemy tables right here next to a chest, and we're basically just going to do batch crafting, but the MA system is going to help us out. And how we're going to do that is we're going to set up recipes that say, hey, I want 64 simple stimulants. These are the things I need to make it. And I need to tell the ME system how to make all of these things. I believe I have everything except for bronze and sugar. I don't have an infinite source of glowstone yet, but we have a decent chunk, and I need to tell the system how to do this. Why don't you do 16 at a time? Sounds like a good plan to me. And do we have a... I believe it's just a... I guess I could use the sag mill, can't I? This can be done in a sag mill. Yeah. Oh, and for the moment, it appears we have a ton of sugar from killing witches in our mob farm, so I don't think I'm going to stress about it. Hopefully we'll be able to produce an infinite source of sugar by the time we are, producing or using hundreds, if not thousands, of simple stimulants. But for now, let's order a stack of simple stimulant. Hopefully we have everything. We do. And what we should see is things should, as they get produced, I guess it'll all get shoved in at once because it's a one recipe, but it'll come here and then I can just shove it into the alchemy table here. I was charging up my Magician's Blood Orb, so it should have sucked up all the blood, and we should be able to put it in here, and it will use the life essence in the LP network to do the crafting once it's all ready to go. What are we waiting on? We're waiting on the sack mill. And there we go. Everything's dropped off in here. I can just shove it directly into here, and it begins crafting, and eventually I'll have 64 simple stimulants. I wonder if we actually have enough in the LP network to do the entire craft. My gut says probably no, but we can start making things to check our LP network by making the divination sigil, and that requires some arcane ashes, and this is a very simple recipe, but that also requires a hellfire forge. So, oh, come on. Do I have that on auto crafting? If I don't have this on auto crafting, I'm going to be very, very upset. I need to make one anyways. Let's do it. And the recipe isn't very pretty, but I'm pretty sure we'll need a bunch of capacitor banks later anyways. So let's start it off. And in time, as we finish up alloys, it will, do its thing. And we will eventually have the forge. And let's see. Okay, it did finish the simple stimulants up. We can shove those back in the ME system and hopefully complete the craft. Okay, that's finishing up, and we're waiting here for alloys. As I said, I do want to make some Eris, so we're going to need some Erothium. I think it's time to start considering powered spawners. We're going to have to do a bunch of crafting. I'm going to have to set up the blaze spawner somewhere, and we're gonna have to do a little bit of divine RPG progression. So next thing the book says to do is to make the mysterious clock. I don't really know why, but it's what it wanted me to do, and I assume I have to do other things to open up more quests because we need to get to Wildwood. I have no idea how. While I was killing mobs out to get that, the corrupted shards, I did find something pretty cool. This cataplant is one of my favorite, just items added to the game ever. I first noticed it, or I first, came across it when I was playing, FTB, or messing around in FTB interactions. I didn't really get very far into it, but watch what happens when you step on it. It just tosses you, dude. It's really cool. It would be a really fun way to set up some kind of traveling from one place to another. If you could get this thing to like launch you off a cliff or something to another part of your base where you like land on slime blocks, that'd be pretty cool. I'll never set it up, but cool in theory. We're gonna need to start killing a lot of things, I think, in the very near future. So let's make some really good armor for the next, spend the next couple of minutes of this video making some really good armor and some really good weapons. To do that, we're going to need an enchanter. And to make the enchanter, we actually need an auto enchantment table, which requires 2 enchanted books in its recipe. It's not in JEI, but you can make a book called Flim Flam. That is, I don't know, it's like bad luck or something weird like that. I don't know what it does, but it can be crafted using just an emerald and a book. So if I get a book, I can make the A system craft me one really quickly. Thank you. And you get an emerald and craft them together. It makes Flim Flam. And then you can set that into the recipe of the auto enchantment table. So my auto enchantment table recipe, as you can see, uses, I need to set the compressed obsidian recipe, but it uses Flim Flams instead of normal, just whatever enchanted books. So I can go ahead and craft the enchanter. And there we go, the enchanter is finished, and also I'm a little haphazard right now. A lot of things going on in the brain, but the Hellfire Forge is also finished, so we can throw our... Oh wait, does this require... Oh, we need to get will, which means we need to make... Oh no, they're like lassos or something. Apparently, they're called rudimentary snares. I wasn't even close. We don't need that many of them though, so I should just be able to set the recipe in here, tell it I want, I don't know, what, 16 of these? And I think it might be able to just auto-craft. No, it needs to make a little bit of electrical steel, but other than that, it's perfectly fine. The recipe for the arcane ashes is just that, but we do need a little bit of essence before, or a little bit of a will before we're able to do that craft. Now, we just need to, oh my god, there's so many things. I need to find something to kill that's not going to kill me. Maybe this creeper over here will creep up on me and leave me alone. That skeleton's obnoxious. Hold on. I think I want to use this guy because he has a lot of health. I'm going to hit him with a snare a bunch of times, and then I don't have my particles on, so I can't actually see if the snares worked, but then you just need to kill him, and hopefully he'll drop some will. And yes, he had a lot of will, and that should be enough that we'll never have to use these snares again. So I'll just throw them away. Bye-bye. The craft for the arcane ashes drains 0 will and requires 0 will. It just needs something in here. So we can toss that in here and it won't ruin our little demonic will crystal. This is kind of like... will is like another source of power for the blood magic mod. We'll get into it later. We don't need to worry about it right now. All we need to know is that I have some will, and it will be used in future recipes. So I think I need, what was it, a blank slate and a little bit of redstone in order to do this divination sigil craft. So you right click on the ground with the thing, you put the redstone in first because that's the thing that shows up in the, wait, what was I trying to make? In the first slot, and then you click the blank slate on it, and it should do a fun little animation and spit out your thing. And I missed it, but here's the divination sigil. And if we right click on it, it shows how much essence we have, which is pretty nice. An issue I kind of forgot like you run into when enchanting things is experience. It's usually not an issue in modded Minecraft. Usually you have an abundance of experience and simple ways to get a ton of experience, but in this pack we just kind of don't. So, instead of finding a better way to do that, I'm just going to kill the ancient entity, which is spawned from the mysterious clock we made, and hope it drops 1,000,000 pieces of experience. Hopefully it's not too hard to kill. Where do I have to hit it, and why does it disappear? Okay, I hit it right there. Little obnoxious. I'll be back in a minute. As long as you have a bow, this thing is seriously not a threat in any way. It has literally no ranged attacks. You just kind of shoot it, and it gives you the things. Yay! That did give 1,000,000 pieces of experience. That's actually enough to get the things that I want. To make our levels go a little bit further too, I made an experience obelisk, so we can get exactly 18 levels to do this. Wait, I didn't want power 3. I wanted power 5. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I want multi-shot 2 because this thing is pretty cool. Just need to put in the recipe for some skeletal contractors. So, in the end, onto our platinum reinforced bow, we're going to do infinity, and then unbreaking 3, multi-shot 3, and power 3. It's not the best bow you can make, but it's pretty darn up there, and we've managed to use our levels wisely. This thing, I think we have the mod that allows us to shoot infinity without arrows in the inventory. Yeah, and you shoot 4 arrows at a time, which is pretty cool. So now we can go to the nether and hunt some things. See this whole group of blazes and archers over here? We should be able to pretty much take them all out with a couple of shots, as long as multiple arrows hit each one of them. And yeah, we're incredibly strong at this point, and we can get some of these molten shards now. I don't know what they're used for, though. Doesn't look like anything yet. It wants us to have a bunch of blaze rods with our skeleton skulls in order to kill the blaze, and it wants us to find some purple blazes. I know those do spawn in the nether, but I have no idea where to find them. Okay, I just checked. It's been 6 days since I've last recorded. School has been screwing me. I'm getting videos out as fast as I can. I know you guys don't particularly care all that much. And you guys want the best for me, so I appreciate that so much. I couldn't find very many purple blazes, so I think what we're going to have to do is finally get into powered spawners from Ender.io. And I think we'll be able to at least do a couple with the amount of power production we have, so let's go ahead and set that up. I went ahead and used an ender pearl trick to get above the bedrock, and I set up these teleporters, so now we should be able to just go up. I think you do have to take off your jetpack when you get up here, but it's fine. I do want to check, is this chunk loaded? I think so. And we can just go ahead and claim a bunch of chunks around here. And this is where we'll put our mob spawners, because we don't have to deal with anything else in the nether trying to kill us. Alright, it is a little bit scary, but I do think it's also time to throw the blaze guys into here. I believe I mentioned this earlier, but if they can't see you, they float directly down, which means, oh god, that we can just have them in here and they'll be fine. And they'll just go. We could get them a couple of speed upgrades, maybe. This also does mean we have to set up a resonator, and the energy uses for extra utilities mostly comes from grid power. And to generate our first little bit, we're going to use a manual mill and make some... Wait, how do you make the... Not polished stone. Is it just polished stone? Wait, what? No, sorry, I'm wrong. We used polished stone, which is made with some stone bricks or whatever. You throw it in the resonator, it turns into stone burnt if you generate some grid power. I'm going to use manual mills for this, so we just have to sit here for a moment. And once I get to 6, I can make some water mills, which generate 16 GP until you get to efficiency losses. And I'll probably try and make maybe like 4 of these. And there we go. We make the water mill. We grab some buckets so we can get water to put around the water mill, and let me find a good place to put this, and I'll show you the most efficient setup for these water mills. Oh yeah, and I may have installed building gadgets because it's just such a nice little tool to have. I could spend time digging out this entire place, or I could just do that and not have to worry about it. So we're going to destroy a little bit of an area here. Click, and it destroys... it's not that bad. And we'll destroy this as well. I guess I can't get it all in one go. And we'll put the water mills over here. And yeah, we can also use this to flatten out areas over here. Use the copy and paste gadget to build out our grid a little bit further, and all this fun stuff. It just saves me a little bit of time and like having to use the builder or something, because I want to keep this place looking somewhat nice. But you know, I'm a little strapped for time, as I've said at multiple points in this episode. Alright, so we'll set up these water mills in blocks of 4. So what we want to do is have water mill here, and then we can have we'll have water mills in each of these 4 spots, but for now I only have the one. And then all we have to do, I think, is put water bucket. Oh no, this can support I think 5 water mills actually. And then we just need to put water buckets here, and here, and here, and here. And that should be good, I think. This is generator 16? Yeah, that should be perfect. Basically, these things require flowing water blocks on each side of them in order to generate grid power, and you want it to be just one away from the source block to get the maximum amount of grid power. So if we set this up, all 5 of these would generate 16 grid power, which is their maximum, because they're exactly one flowing source block, or one flowing block of water away from the source block. So, yeah, and this stuff's completely wireless, so we can just have it over here, and our resonator would just work. And what we should see is going over here, that our resonator is just working, and we have enough stone burnt now to make one more water mill. And here we go, a second water mill, so we produce 32 grid power total. That should be enough to run our resonator and a bunch of other things should we want to. So now we can make these speed upgrades. And I actually put this interface down next to the resonator over here because this thing can be automated using applied logistics. We just need a couple of item conduits. Make me 100 please. And we need to extract back into the interface. So I'll just use the brown channel, throw it into here, and what we should see is the stone burnt should get pulled out. Let's go ahead and turn this off for the moment and put the recipes in to make upgrade bases. So I went ahead and made our first 4 upgrade speeds using the resonator. I put the recipes in, and if we put this in, it looks like this resonator, instead of using its normal amount, is going to use an extra 4.38, which is perfectly fine because we produce a lot more power than that. I also put the recipe for stone burnt in, so we have 17. Let's go ahead and make another half stack, and let's see how fast this goes. Ooh, we don't produce enough grid power, so we can use 2, but I would say that's pretty fast. That's perfectly fine. We can just make the other 3 water mills for this thing and generate a ton more grid power. This would put us up to, what, 64 plus 16? That is 80 total grid power, and we're losing a little bit of efficiency now. As you can see, we've gone over the efficiency, or like the minimum, but we're only losing 7%, so we're still gaining a lot per. So we're getting 15 from each, which means we're getting 75 grid power. That's pretty good, and I think it means we can shove 2 more upgrade speeds in here. Let's go with 1, and then we'll make 2 for the blaze spawner because it's a little slow at the moment. Alright, I've got the 2 extra upgrade speeds, and we shove these right in there, and it should be a significant amount faster. Where's my dev null? There we go, perfect. We already have a bunch of blaze rods because I kind of let this sit for a while, so we can begin to produce our first little bit of this ambustio, which needs to be used in offensio, which is used to make the powered spawners. The main issue is we need a way to kill the mobs, and a mob slaughter factory doesn't work, I don't think, because that produces the slime things. So our next step is gonna be making some infernal flames. These make the king of scorchers. We need to kill those. We need to kill 4 of them to get the golden fury, which can be used in an alchemy array to get the bound blade, which is used in the mob crusher. So that means we're going to need some purple blazes, and we're going to need to make, let's try, first things first, let's try and make some powered spawners, and then after that, we can maybe set up a shield generator from RF tool, or shield projector from RF tools, because I think, yeah, oh, these are cheap. Yeah, let's try and make a tier 2 shield projector, and then we can set this to damage so we can kill the purple blazes as they spawn. So, I was putting in some recipes and I hit a little bit of a snag, I guess you could call it. Basically, we have no way of producing water and lava buckets, and that's the system we have set up here. this interface will shove buckets into here if I put the recipe in, and then extract them from the top. The reason we don't want to use the push function on the fluid tanks here, which you can set up using the configure IO button, is because sometimes this thing can push the bucket into here and then grab the bucket back, the full bucket back into here, and it'll get clogged. That's because the IMI interfaces do have like a slight sleeping function. It's pretty fast, but you can still mess up the system. So we just need to extract and insert using item conduits. Perfectly fine. I'm melting cobblestone into lava. It's pretty slow, but it does get the job done. And I don't think we're going to need a huge amount of lava at the moment. If we do, maybe I just need to... Do we have the second tier of tanks? The pressurized fluid tanks. Actually, if this isn't too expensive, I'm going to switch that out for a pressurized fluid tank just so we can have a little bit of a backlog. Now, if I want, say, 10 water buckets for something, it'll craft the buckets and fill them up. So, why not go ahead and test the system and fill them out? What we should see is a bunch of buckets shoved into here, and they slowly get filled. This isn't the fastest thing in the world, but it is fully automated, and that's the main thing I look for in something like this. And yeah, I changed this out for the pressurized fluid tank, but it's still really slow. I don't really want to dedicate more than 900 RF per... You know what? Actually, we're producing so much power, and that thing's not going to be full uptime. We're using about half of that, which means, you know what? Go ahead, shove it in there and get a little bit faster. 1500 RF per tick. That's all right. The next thing we need to set up is a soul binder to make these flight control units, and we need to spawn specifically bats in soul vials, and the way that we get this is using a powered spawner and supplying it with some soul vials. We can recycle the soul vials, however, I still don't have any of these powered spawners. That's what we're working towards right now, kind of. And I guess I do need to find a way to... Okay, so I need 2 powered spawners at the moment. Let's work towards that, I guess. I feel like I'm all over the place, but for now, let's work towards that. But first things first, I need to go catch some bats so I can actually make my first Dark Solarium thrusters, which are used here as well. Okay, so we have a swamp near our base, and there's a witch that spawned in this hut. Witches, when you kill them, spawn a bunch of bats, but I don't want her to do it outside. I want her to do it in here, and then get the soul vials ready and start sucking them up. Oh, get in there. Where's the rest? I got 5. Did I get 5? Hey, that's not bad. Let's see if that's enough to make the first spawner 4 bats. I think that'll be just enough, and then we can have one to set it? I don't know. I also went ahead and added this other soul binder. Eventually, this will become the zombies, which is a thing. I did start making the capacitors here, right? Yes, they're done. They get to go into here, and I think this machine uses a ton of energy, but we have a fair bit of backlog and storage, so we should be good to go. The next thing I was going to do is order the Offensio. I need 2 for each powered spawner, so let's just go ahead and make all 4 right now. And it looks like we have everything to do it. We just have to babysit our alchemy table a little bit, and use our blood orb, which is over here. Yeah, so we should have a decent amount of blood in here, maybe. I'll maybe drain a little bit extra into there, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us going. And since we're going to need a ton of blood orbs anyways, I thought might as well make a second magician's one, so we can leave one in the alchemy table and charge up our blood network with the other guy. I put a little bit more blood in here, so hopefully we can finish up this crafting with the little bit that we have. I suppose I could check with the divination sigil. Yeah, 28,000, and each craft costs like 2... Wait. Oh, I need to replace the buckets. Yeah, this craft is going to be obnoxious to automate later on, but I think it'll be okay. We'll be able to handle it. Alright, and that should be everything that we need to make the first powered spawner, and we'll use that for some bats. I do need the soul vial with the extra bat in it. Where did that go? I've got 3 in there, 1 in there. Am I missing a... Whatever, we'll figure it out later. Something I do want to mention is, so I've turned mob griefing off, which means creepers can't explode, and also Endermen can't pick up blocks anymore. The reason I'm doing that, not specifically because I like, oh no, creepers are such a pest in this pack. Like, we literally have claim chunks anyways, it's not really an issue. But apparently, Endermen can still pick up blocks and claim chunks. I knew that. But they can also pick up trash cans. So this trash can got picked up by an Enderman, deleted, and my game crashed because there were so many entities on the ground from our mob farm. So Enderman can no longer pick up blocks, and I think that's just the way it has to be. Yeah. While that powered spawner finishes crafting up, I think it's time to go actually find a purple blaze. Like I said, I did kill one, but I didn't have a soul vial on me to capture it. And I think some use for the first powered spawner might be to initially set it up for the purple blazes, and then eventually change it over to something a little bit more useful like the bats in order to make more power spawners. But for now, I want to get at least a couple of mob crushers going, because then we can start rolling on automations for stuff like this. Apparently these purple blazes are like endangered or something, because I've been flying around for probably like 10 minutes and I haven't found another one. It is completely unfeasible to kill these things by hand by just finding them in the nether. We have to spawn them. There's no other way to get around it. Their spawn chances need to be increased, or like you have to do this. Okay, I started looking for this thing right as my girlfriend texted me. That was 25 minutes ago now. This has been enough of my life. We're going to summon one on me, grab it in my thing, and I'm going home. Okay, so if you can't hear, there are a lot of Scorchers in here. I set up our power cell over here to spawn Scorchers with the powered spawner, and apparently they just never stop shooting. It's quite rude. I need them to all die, please. And they also take more than one bow shot to kill, which is kind of obnoxious. Okay, is this going to be the 8 that I need? No, it is 6. So I need 2 more to make my first King of Scorchers thing. And then we just need to kill one of these guys to get the golden... No, we need to kill... How many? So we need to kill 4 of these guys. Does looting work? Maybe we can try looting. To make the Inferno sword, we actually need some redstone ore, which is a little obnoxious, but, you know, I went and mined up some, so we have 24, which means we can make 12 of these. That'll be okay for now. Let's make 4, and then we'll make 4 of these, because I killed 32 of these Scorchers. Do these stack? No, they do not, but that is quite alright, and hopefully we should just be able to go spawn these guys in the nether and mess them up. Let me go ahead and fight the first one of these guys on camera, and I'm hoping they can spawn on the bedrock. Most things cannot spawn on the bedrock. You have to lay some blocks down for them, but oh, he's just there. I thought he was going to be much bigger and much harder to kill. I think our bow is just really, really good. And I need to make sure he just doesn't hit me too much, because that attack seems to be pretty brutal. And I think with a jetpack, we'll have him pretty good. And there we go. Do we get just 1? Okay, we did. So we are going to have to automate this at some point, because we're going to need probably, I don't know, a ton of these bound blades for various things. But I can kill 4 for now. And then we can get our first mob crusher and make this process a little bit easier. And he hit me again. Alright, there's our first golden fury. I need to make a binding reagent, so I need to input the recipes for aluminum brass. In order to make the binding reagent, we need a minimum of 400 will, and it will drain 10 will, which means we need at least, I believe, a common tartaric gem. We need to start all the way at the bottom. We need to start with petty. So we throw those 4 things in there. The demonic will that I said we'd use later. And we should get petty tartaric gems out of here. I like to make at least 2 or 3 of these so you can upgrade them as you go. So that's what I'm going to do. One of these petty gems gets turned into a sentient sword. This doesn't drain any will, so we can use the crappy will crystals we have right now to make this, And this thing, when you kill mobs with it, will drop the will crystals, like the same way that it did when you did the, what are they called? The lures or whatever? You toss at things. I went ahead and killed some more Scorchers so I could get some enchanted books for this thing. We want a Sentient Sword with Sharpness 5 and Unbreaking 3. That will just increase its power. Because as you can see, at this level, it's pretty bad. It does attack very fast, but it's pretty rough. So pretty much what we want to do is just use our mob farm to kill mobs. And I guess the blazes are a bad idea. I might go turn those off just so we don't have to deal with getting punched by them and burnt. Redstone on, and I'm never getting out of here. Oh man. Bye-bye. Once we fill up one of these fully, we can use it to upgrade the other one, because I believe it takes pretty much the entire full crystal to upgrade. And there we go. Oh, I guess that loses its will. Wait, it doesn't even take the full crystal. So what I can do, I think, then, is, because we need to upgrade both of these, is you shift click, or shift right click the will from one of these into the other one. And then, oh, it probably has a minimum will, doesn't it? It needs a minimum of 60. So let's go kill a couple more things. And there we go. There's the other one upgraded. And now I basically just need to repeat this process to fill up the lesser in order to get us to the common Tartaric gems. A huge chunk of time later, I've managed to upgrade to common Tartaric, fill one of these gems up, and a little bit over just that. So yeah, this is my least favorite part of blood magic, but it's done now, so we should be good to go. So we put the ingredients for the binding reagent in here, put the gem in here, and it should just do the craft. All right, wonderful. Now I'm going to store these in a safe place because we don't need them for a little bit. Is our alchemy array also in here? Looks like it's probably in the ME system. Do this. I believe it's this and then this. And we should be creating the bound blade. We're going to want to use the first one of these for a little bit before we actually turn it into the Mob Crusher. So what this thing does is basically when you hit it, you have a chance of getting blood shards or something like that, right? Yeah, these weak blood shards. Once we get 4, we can duplicate them with imbued slates, but we do need 4 in order to begin producing these large bloodstone tiles. These will be used all over the place, but we need 4 of them first to get to tier 4 of our blood altar. Basically, it just takes stuff out, or it takes some life points out of your life point network, the thing that you use to craft with the alchemy table, and deals damage, and upon killing a mob, you have a chance to get the blood shards. Okay, and here are the 4 large bloodstone tiles for our altar. I do need... what is this made out of? Oh, I already have the pillars up there, which means these should just be able to go right here, and these are the caps for our tier 4 altar. We just need to replace these frozen stones with blank runes, and we probably won't do that today because I've had enough of this. And I was gonna go ahead and set up the mob farm, like the next version of the mob farm, because I want to be able to use a bunch of powered spawners with 1 mob crusher, because these mob crushers are insanely expensive to get. But we'll do that at the beginning of next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye. I know this was incredibly haphazard, but you know, hopefully we'll get back on the train as I get back into a swing of things recording at like normal intervals. So yeah. Bye bye.